Okay, we are live. This is even by my standards, this is a chaotic start to a live stream. Holy shit! Let me just go. It's a disastrous beginning. Jesus Christ! How did you even come across from this to this stream from the other stream? I don't even know what I'm fucking doing. I had the whole thing set up with StreamYard. It was all whatever you want to call it. It was all set up, pre-planned, you know, done with StreamYard 5 hours ago. And yeah, basically shit happened about an hour ago. And I thought, I'm going to have to cancel the stream because shit was going on, like, personal shit. And I was like, it's going to be a bit awkward to do a stream tonight. So I thought, better cancel it. Probably way too late notice for the people who give a shit. And there's people who there's people in the chat, they give a shit. I underestimate the people who give a shit about this channel and me. But so I basically cancelled the stream on StreamYard, but for some reason on YouTube that doesn't correlate in some way. So I cancelled it on StreamYard thinking it's all good. I've rescheduled. I put a tweet out saying I'll reschedule for Friday because I thought I can't really go live tonight because I've got a bit of shit going on. So just get in bed, put YouTube on, and there's the fucking stream that I've committed to, and it's not gone. It's still there, and there's the live chat, and it's like the live chat starts building up. I'm like, oh shit. Why is that fucking live stream still up? It should have gone. It should have been deleted. So I was like panicking. I was like, oh shit, I can't let people down. I'm gonna have to go live. And I'm not like, to be fair, it's like, the reason why I couldn't live stream, that's kind of like gone now. So I can live stream. The issue was maybe not as bad as what I thought it was. So it's kind of like, it is okay that I live stream. It's not like I'm like, nobody's dying, nobody's like in a critical condition. So me live streaming is not really a big issue. It's just at the time I thought the shit was going on at the time. I thought probably best to leave a live stream tonight because I've got shit to deal with. But that was like an hour ago, and it's things have calmed down a bit. So I thought when I did cancel the stream, I thought, well, yeah, I'll chill now. I'll watch more Stranger Things and just fall asleep. But it's all good, And then I seen the comments, it's like, oh shit, I can't do that because people don't even know that I've cancelled. So yeah, back online. It's all good. 12 people in chat. What's up? What's up, guys? 12 people in chat. Legends. Fucking hell, man. Yeah. So let's just go straight to the chat, man. Chat of legends. Lorne obviously is in the chat. What's up, man? Chris is in the chat. What's up, Bunny Army? Who else is in that? DJ? Did I just say DJ? My memory is gone. Big T. What's up, man? Yeah, so basically, yeah, it was gonna. Dan's in the chat as well, as always. What's up, Dan? Yeah, so yeah, it was. Lorne, why did the bald eagle almost go extinct? Answer me. Is that a private joke? I don't think I'm supposed to understand that one. Is it to do Lorne being bald? I don't know. Probably not. Yeah, so basically, yeah. So I am live. You know what? I'm glad actually. It's glad because I was feeling bad. I thought going live Friday, it's not the same as going live on a Tuesday, and plus, I do have to work Saturday mornings as well, so it's less sleep. Although I have a dentist. I've got a dentist appointment in the morning, so even though if I stay up late, I've still got to get up early for a fucking dentist appointment. and I hate the dentist so much, especially after Final Destination 2. You know, it'll never be as bad as that, but it's still kind of like, my God, I do not like dentists whatsoever. But yeah, anyway, let me get back on point. There was a point to this live stream tonight. I tried to make every live stream to be about something in particular, a certain topic, especially when it's not like, if it's just going to be like a half an hour warm up stream for Pizza stream, like last week, where I just jump on and just like chat to you for half an hour. But this is like a proper stream, it's where I want to address certain stuff I've watched, or stuff you've watched, or whatever. So this is one of those. Final Destination 2 is one of the greatest horror movies of all time, Lord. It's just great. The best opening scene to a Final Destination movie by far. The opening to Final Destination 2 is the best, opening to a Final Destination movie. Better than 1, better than anything else. Anything that's gone after that as well. I love Final Destination 2 for me is by far and away, it's got the most memorable scenes, the most memorable characters. I just love that film so much. Is it as good as The Last Slumber Party? If that's a reference to the sequel to Slumber Party Massacre, which I've not seen, I don't know if Chris is trying to be, sarcastic, or to try and piss Lauren off. I don't know. But I've not seen The Last Slumber Party. Is it that really panly bad sort of shitty film from like a couple of years ago? I love the original Slumber Party Massacre, but anything other than that, I'm not a massive fan of, and I've not seen the remake, if you can call it. I don't know. I don't really want to see a remake. A remake of the Slumber Party Massacre in 2022. Would that even work, really? I don't know. It's 2022. We've got to be a bit, but we've got to be very sensitive now to, like, this, that, and the other. So anyway, okay, like I've acknowledged that the chat is running wild tonight, which is good to see. But I have to move on. I've got to discuss certain shit, and certain shit might not appeal to some people. But I do want to talk about Obi-Wan Kenobi, the TV show. I'm sure there are some Obi-Wan fans in the chat, because I think it's an important thing. It's not important maybe to a lot of people, but for me, it's something that, like, in terms of the Star Wars universe, I've really taken a backseat to a lot of the stuff that's gone on after the films. I didn't watch Book of Boba Fett, didn't watch the second series of Mandalorian. Probably I'm not going to watch Andor, but Obi-Wan is the show that I wanted to watch because of the connection to the original trilogy and the sequel trilogy. And that's it has got that pull of the original trilogy and the sequel trilogy that the late the Disney trilogy hasn't got. Do I think that it's going to work over? This is hard because they are pushing this as just a 6 episodes show, and I think that would work. But my issue is like, Obi-Wan Kenobi, does he deserve more than just like a 6 episode show that Boba Fett got and the Mandalorian, Mando got? Does Boba Fett does Obi-Wan not deserve like more? Does he not deserve like a movie? Because it just seems a little bit disingenuous of like the character. This is like one of the most iconic characters of the Star Wars universe, and you're relegating him to like the level of somebody like Boba Fett, who, don't get me wrong, Boba Fett is an iconic character, but he was always just, a side character, and the sort of character who would gain a lot of respect and a lot of sort of he had the mystery element, but Obi-Wan is beyond that. He is Obi-Wan is the sort of character who is a truly iconic character, and to just put him in like a TV show for 6 episodes and then just disregard him, which is kind of like what I think they're going to do, because I don't think they go. To my knowledge, they're not going season 2 of him. It just seems a bit of a kick in the face for that character. In terms of the actual show itself, I mean, I enjoyed the first 2 episodes. I did think the comedy chase through the woods with these basically, let's not mince words, bounty hunters. They were bounty hunters who couldn't catch a 10-year-old girl in a forest where it was quite clear where she was running to. They were running into branches. They were just getting outwitted by this little girl. It was just it. Somebody did a YouTube video and they put Benny Hill music onto the scene, and yet Benny Hill music worked perfectly with the scene. It was so ridiculous. It was so childish, so idiotic that, I mean, yeah, it looked really bad on the show in general. I mean, I just cannot think what they were thinking when they did this. It was just, I mean, apart from that, I mean, okay, there was scenes with Obi-Wan, and similar to the scene in the woods where he couldn't find her. She's running around with her little legs, and he's like, "Oh my God, where's she gone?" It's like it just seemed a bit silly to me. I don't know, but beside that, I thought it was good. Okay, I'm going to assume most people have seen the first 2 episodes. Killing off, I think they've killed off the Grand Inquisitor, or the whatever his name is, in episode 2. Not quite sure I'm on board with that. Clearly, they're going forward with Reva being like the main antagonist. Yeah, I don't really understand why they've done that. Well, I do understand why they've done that, because it's been revealed in plot twists which have been leaked online. Griff's in the chat. What's up, Griff, man? Yeah. Hello, everyone. Also, fuck Star Wars, put out to pasture. Well, most of Star Wars could be put out to pasture at this point. Yeah, Reva, I think there's a reason why they've gone the way they've gone with Reva, which actually I'm not going to go into, because it's kind of revealing, plot twists which are going to be revealed towards the end of the show, end of this season. But on a whole, I am enjoying Obi-Wan and episode 3 drops tomorrow, by the way. It's not dropping on a Friday, it's dropping tomorrow. But I do think there are issues with it, but it's definitely, for me, better than Book of Boba Fett, and it's definitely better. Mandalorian can go fuck itself. Mandalorian for me was just a big pile of shit. I could not stand Mandalorian. I really didn't like that. I did not like it. I probably won't like Andor. I'm not a big fan of the Star Wars universe going forward. Anything after this, maybe, if it's not directly connected to the original trilogy or Lucas's, prequel trilogy, I might just completely bow out of. Yeah, I'm just kind of like done with it, to be honest with it. I don't know what to say. It's kind of lost all its soul now for me under Disney. I don't know if anyone else thinks that. It's just, to me, it's just, even though Lucas's prequel trilogy, even though it was divisive and it was a little bit what the fuck at times, it did feel like Star Wars. It did feel like It did feel like Star Wars. A lot of the stuff now, it just feels like it just feel like a multi-billion-dollar company just thinking, how can we make as much fucking money as possible out of this franchise? And it's just a case of you You just subscribe and you consume, subscribe, consume, subscribe, consume. Here's Andor, and after Andor, which is like obviously the new show, which is a spin-off from Rogue One. So basically, Andor is a spin-off from Rogue One, which is basically going to be a spin-off from a character who no one gives a shit about, which goes into Andor, and so Andor will probably spin off into a show which is another character nobody gives a shit about, and it'll just ad infinitum, if that's the right word. It'll just keep on going in, infinitely into characters nobody gives a shit about. So it's like, it's just like, oh, we've got a film. So take this movie or take this show, and it'll go into that show. It'll go into that show, and Marvel's doing the same thing. They're taking characters like Agatha Harkness from WandaVision. Who gives a fuck about that character? Like, who gives a fuck about Agatha Harkness? I'm not the biggest MCU fan. I'm not the biggest fan of the MCU in terms of like comic characters. But I mean, I've spoken to people who are fans of like the MCU, and even they're like, nobody fucking wants an Agatha Harkness TV show. So I don't know. Fucking hell, man. I don't know where it's going. It's just a fucking mess. In my opinion, obviously, my opinion is not the opinion of Marvel and Disney and the wider sort of shit, whatever I want to call it. I did think it was funny though that Lucasfilm came out with a tweet today about any negativity towards Reva in the Obi-Wan series, basically referencing like any negativity towards it being a black character is racism. That's what they were basically aiming at. Which is very funny coming from a company that shrunk John Boyega's face on a promotional poster for China in The Force Awakens. So, okay, Disney or Lucasfilm, it's all one the same. Yeah, if you're going to preach, be aware of what you're preaching, because you're more racist, arguably, than anybody who's following your Twitter account. Because if you're going to shrink a black man's face to try and keep in line with China and keep them on board to make more money, then go fuck yourselves, you cheeky little bastards. So yeah, who's going to take you seriously? Fuck off. That's all I got to say about that. Fucking hell. Fuck Lucasfilm, fuck Disney, the fucking the cheeky bastards, man. They're just virtue signal all the time, and they're worse than anybody. They're fucking worse than anybody. The cheeky little bastards. Fucking hell, man. But I was meant to talk about something else. Yeah, okay. Yeah, fucking hell. Sorry. You know what? Fuck it. I'll just. Sorry, I'm just gonna. Okay. Very, very slowly. There's the link. If anyone wants to jump on, you're more than welcome. Okay, Star Wars is on. Move on to Stranger Things. Stranger Things, guys. You seen Stranger Things? How far into it are you? Thoughts? A lot of people are saying this is the best Stranger Things since season 1. Some people are even saying it's the best Stranger Things, period. I wouldn't go that far. I still think I think season 1 is still the GOAT. I still think this is up to the point I've seen it. I've seen the first 4. I would say that this is so far better than 2 and 3. Still not as good as 1, but I think there's that, that's probably maybe nostalgia. I think the originality of the first season. But so far I think season 4's been on point to a point. It is long. I mean, Jesus Christ, this is like every episode is like fucking. You're talking nearly movie length. You're talking like, I think 2 of the episodes so far have been close to like hour 25, hour 20. You're talking like nearly a movie length for an episode, and it's good in a way because you really breathing life into a lot of these characters. Although some people would argue that, I mean, I'm not really. I'm kind of like in between because in some ways I like the extended episodes, but I kind of think we're breathing life into like some of these characters that I don't really give that much of a damn about. The a jock guy, like his girlfriend Chrissy was killed in episode one. I think they spend way too much time following him around and his goons, just trying to track down the guy who he thinks responsible. The guy who looks about 35, who's meant to be a school kid. Yeah, they've spent too much time on that. They spent too much time in California, which, I mean, I'm not going to go into spoiler territory too much, but I'm assuming most people have seen Stranger Things up to a point. I mean, I've not seen 5, 6, and 7, so I'm still in spoiler territory myself. But unless I'm mistaken, unless I've missed anything, if they don't go back to California, I don't really see why they even bothered going to California in the first place. They could have gone anywhere. Okay, I mean, it's nice to go somewhere different away from Hawkins, but it just seems a bit like pointless. The whole Elle and rivalry with the other girl, I don't really see how it's progressing her character forward at all. The whole Hopper thing in Russia was just boring as hell to me. I don't want to see. I'm not interested in Hopper. Hopper could have been killed off in episode one. I don't know. I don't care about Hopper. I don't want him to come back. I don't like him. I, I wish he'd just disappear. And the whole Russian thing for the whole first 4 episodes is just so dull to me. And oh my god, it's like how depressing is Russia? It's like I don't want to see snow and cold and like people eating gruel and getting tortured. Give me some like nice sunshine in California. Yeah, it's just the whole Hopper thing. Just fuck Hopper off. I could do without him now. And even to be fair, you know what? Winona Ryder's character is just annoying. Like I don't even want to see her anymore. I just rather they focus on the four main protagonists from season one and the other assortments of characters they brought in, and just do that. I was actually going to say the adults, you could dispose of the adults, but I mean, to be fair, like some of the adults in the show are children. I mean, what I will say is like, I did make notes about this, but what is it with like American shows and like just portraying like 35-year-olds as school kids? I mean, I'm sorry, but the um the D&D club they're in, which oh my god, the wild what are they called, the wild card or whatever they're called. The guy who's accused basically of murdering Chrissy, him and his friends, they are borderline 30-year-olds, maybe 32, 33. They are not in any shape or form children, even close to like school, college age. They graduated university probably about 10 years ago. It's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, the big fat guy's got like a receding hairline. He looks about 35. The idea that these people, these grown men are like in school. I mean, what's going on? I mean, where are we at with the school situation? Because in '83, which was the beginning, season one, you know, Nancy, um, she was like, I thought she was like meant to be like 17 and about that point. Why is she still in school? Is she still, or is she in, I don't know. Is she like a school reporter for the newspaper? I don't know. The whole thing's just a complete mystery to me. But yeah, I mean, is it better than season two and season three? Yes. I will just jump back into the chat because I've totally ignored the chat completely. Where are we up to now? Yeah, so I went back to Griff doesn't like Star Wars. That's fair enough. Um, Lauren says, to be fair, the aliens couldn't catch a girl either for months. Yeah, okay, Lauren, but I mean, come on, we're not going to compare aliens to Stranger Things, are we? I understand, I know where we're going. Lauren's trying to dig at aliens because Jason X is the better film. We all know that Jason X is a better film than Aliens in Lauren's universe. Come on, Lauren, be reasonable. Do you know that Aliens is one of the greatest sci-fi films of all time? I'm just going to put it out there. Jason X is not as good as Friday the 13th Part 5. There's a link in the description if you want to debate it. It's not like I'm joking. If you want to jump on, but I'm just saying, I'm not like saying debate that argument. Although the Friday 5 is a better film than Jason X. Although you would make a better argument in a one-to-one argument about Jason X being a better film because you're far better at making arguments than me. What does Lord say? There are more people watching than from stream. What do you think? Oh yeah, okay, yeah, that's a good point, Lord. Everyone who's not put a thumbs up, leave a thumbs up. Do you know what? It amazes me. You know what? The loyalty of this community, and I've said it before. I was on a live stream, and I've said this before. I was on a live stream a couple of weeks ago, and it was a channel of like 8,000 subs, and I had like 8 people watching. And I was like, you've got 8,000 subscribers. Where are all your subscribers? What are they doing? And I know a lot of channels have dead subs, like people who just subscribe and just don't ever watch again. But in this community, the little community we've got, very loyal. I always try and jump on anyone I'm subscribed to in the community. I'll always try and jump on as long as I'm not asleep. Obviously, if I'm asleep, I'm not jumping on. But Dan's always streaming, and if it comes across that I'm ignoring the channel, I always watch on repeat and try and like as well. But Dan's live streams go on a time when it's just utterly impossible for me to watch. We're talking like 4 o'clock in the morning. So yeah, but Dan knows I'm a fan. And obviously, a lot of the other guys in the community, Corey's a good guy. He'll put a stream out at some stupid, ridiculous time in the morning where I can catch it up live, like 7 o'clock in the morning. And Jay's does the same thing. So, but if you're on the Eastern Coast and if you're gonna start streaming at like your time, like 10 p.m., there's not a chance in hell I'm watching it. Not a chance in hell because I am fast asleep. Okay. Still staying on the chat. Big T says, I still can't get into the Clone Wars. Never liked it when I was a cartoon. Like, I could never get into the whole Star Wars cartoon era period. I'm just not a big fan of I do love old school cartoons. I don't like newer style cartoons. Like I love like old Scooby Doo, and I love the old 80s Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and shit like that. I couldn't stand the new stuff they did with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and with Star Wars as well, like the Clone Wars and Rebels. It was too. I don't know. I like cartoons to be sort of like childlike, and when they try and be too like adult, it kind of pulls me away from it. I'm not really a big fan. Lord, I ordered Criterion Blue with the Innocent State. Is the Innocence a British movie? Because I'm sure I read about that today. And if I sound like a total insolent, dumb Brit when it's actually a British film, then I apologise. I'm sure I read somewhere. I was looking because it was kind of like research for a topic to talk about on the stream about like British movies, and I'm sure The Innocents came up, which I've never seen. If it probably is a British movie, it'll be another British movie I've never seen. Dan makes a good point. There's way too much Star Wars, even for fans, it isn't special anymore. Yeah, I understand. The Star Wars franchise now, it kind of feels like it's you're just a consumer. It's like, I mentioned this, probably 20 minutes ago, but your point your comment makes a good point. It's like, it's like, here's our product, consume this. Here's a little, a little snippet of, something for the next season where we'll do something new, and we'll take a character and we'll throw this character into a new scenario, and this is our next season, and then you'll watch that, and then you'll watch that, and it's just like, it's like on an infinite loop. That's kind of what Star Wars and Marvel feel like now with the whole, because they are under a lot of pressure to keep churning out, 3, 4 shows a year between Marvel and Star Wars. So, you know, quality control is it's going to drop drastically, and it was never particularly high anyway. So I don't know. Why did they only do 6 episodes of the Android 8? Are we referencing? Are we talking about Star Wars in terms of Obi-Wan? Because that was 6 episodes. I'm not entirely sure. Big T says standard 8 in most series. DJ's never seen Stranger Things. DJ, come on. I mean, it's worth watching. I mean, I would say definitely watch season 1, because season 1 is great. Lucas looks 35. You know what? No, Dan. Lucas looks a lot younger than the guys in the Hellfire Club. The other guys. The guy who gets accused of killing Chrissy. I mean, he looks so old. I mean, it's ridiculous. He looks so old. I mean, guy, my God, he looks like he's easily 30. Jesus. Chris says, finished it last night, enjoyed quite a lot. I'm assuming you talk about Stranger Things. I've kind of missed the chat a little bit. But yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. I'm definitely enjoying it so far. I do think it's definitely a big improvement on season 2 and season 3. But like I say, for me, season 1 is just, you can't top that. I think I'll play Big Up on it as the second under the jog. Yeah, he's a bit of a douchebag, and he's walking around in his like Lacoste jacket, his Lacoste top and his Reebok trainers, and his like American football jacket, and he's kind of becoming more unhinged as each episode goes, which it's a little bit unrealistic for me. He's becoming like a little bit too unhinged for me. It's getting a bit silly. I mean, okay, I know his girlfriend's being killed, but who goes around on a mission to try and, like, I don't know, maybe you do that, I don't know, but it is a bit, to me, that little bit is a bit far-fetched. Big T says it's definitely better, but needs to end. Well, I think it ends. I think they're gonna do a season 6 and it's done. From to my knowledge, season 6 is over. After that, by that point, they're gonna be like, in their early 20s. You can't keep this going forever unless you just like brought an entirely new cast of kids in. The only reason maybe it probably wouldn't work, but maybe Stranger Things set in like now, modern day, where the parents are like Millie Bobby Brown's character and Bitchy's character and Mike's character, and they all still live in Hawkins, and it's like their kids are like growing up, with the whole, because they be at the right age, because they're obviously born in like, this was like early 70s, so if you set it, maybe not now, maybe like 5-6 years ago, when they probably would have had kids who were around like 13 years age, 14 years of age. But I don't know. I mean, I think it's time to move on with Stranger Things. I think it is. I think personally the season's enough, but apparently Netflix do want to do another season. But obviously, if it's making shit tons of money, then that's what they're going to want to do. But it costs a lot of money as well. By all accounts, I don't know how many millions of pounds an episode it was, but it was not cheap. Big T says, in the new series, which is rumored to be set in the 90s, it's going to be in California with a whole new cast. Well, you know more than me, Big T. I've no idea that they're planning to do more Stranger Things. I thought it was done with. I thought it was going to be season 6 and done. If they are going to go into the 90s, I don't know. Seems silly to me. Bunny Army, what's up, Bunny? Just put the Beatles 11s. It looks like they put the Beatles on 11's face in the cut. Yeah, I mean, it's not. It probably isn't difficult to do with someone as young as that, and you've also got but Millie Bobby Brown as a really young kid in season 1, so it's probably not a very difficult thing to do. I mean, I'm not really sure how they do with CGI, because sometimes CGI and de-aging looks really good, and they did it really well with Samuel L. Jackson in some of the Marvel films, and yet maybe that's because he's still alive. I don't know, but the Peter Cushing CGI in Rogue One looked horrendous, and with Princess Leia as well, it just looks so strange. So I don't really know how it works, the de-aging process, like how they get it to either look amazing, look terrible. Is it just a matter of money, or is it just, I don't know. Chris says, I kind of like how they open it up. I wouldn't hate seeing what kind of is in the Upside Down. Lord says, how do you have a Hopper? What is a Hopper? Well, yeah, I don't like Hopper. I think I did. Yeah, I think I did go into the, yeah. Okay, yeah, I'm not a big fan. Not a big fan of Hopper. I mean, I liked him in season 1, but he's kind of become more annoying as time's gone on. I'm just moving track of the chat. Dan says, I believe Kent was the best friend of the route. Actually, Kent so was legit. Chris says, I met him. He should be. I was 2 hours when okay, so I'm just going to carry on briefly with Stranger Things, because the main thing that I've in the chat, I already discussed, like, really old school kids, but I think one of the real strong plus points of this season is Vecna. I think going with a more, like, humanoid character for this as a bad guy, and he's obviously given off big Freddy Krueger vibes as well with the way he kills. It's like it just gives it more like a sort of like I wouldn't describe it really. It just feels more real. The kills feel more real. The it gives more weight to, like, the sort of what they're going to go through. The whole Demogorgon in season 1, which, I mean, I do love season 1, but Demogorgon, and then whatever it was in season 2 and season 3, kind of like they were just like faceless monsters who nobody gave a shit about. And as a human being as well, as a grown man, there's no real sort of sense of terror there, because it's just, I'm not saying there's a sense of terror with Vecna, but it does feel like there's more, it's hard to, I'm trying to find a way to describe what I feel about Vecna as a character. I'm guessing what I'm trying to say is giving us a character who is kind of, somebody who's, if he looks humanoid, he feels humanoid, speaks on a personal level to the antagonists, it just puts it on another level. The kind of thing, the danger they're under. You feel for the characters more, because it's a lot more emotional. The whole thing with Max at the end of episode 4, that was just on another level to anything that's gone before. Regardless of like what you think of seasons 1, 2, and 3, and 4 going forward. As much as I love season 1, there's nothing on the level of what happened at the end of episode 4 of season 4 happened in season 1, because it's just the whole character Vecna, even though he's not like a charismatic villain, he's maybe in a way he's quite charismatic, but he is still just like, a fairly faceless entity with a demonic voice. There is some sort of charisma to him, and it does add something to the whole show that you just didn't get with the first 3 seasons, especially with 2 and 3. And I do think, and they do play with the whole, and certainly with episode 4 of season 4. Then there was so many elements thrown into the mix there with like nostalgia. For stuff that had gone on before the TV show was set and after. Certainly there was nods to Halloween 1 in that episode. There was nods to Game of Thrones in that episode. There was nods obviously to Nightmare on Elm Street. Yeah, there's certainly nods to a lot of stuff going on. But Vecna for me is like they've definitely scaled up with the villain in season 4. As I say, will this top season 1 for me? Probably not. It could, 4 episodes in, I think a 4 to watch. I don't think it'll top season 1 just on the fact that it is a season 4, and going into the original Stranger Things fresh, it was just such a breath of fresh air. But in terms of like bringing forward a powerful villain in Vecna, I think he will definitely be remembered as the best villain of the franchise. Definitely in terms and the whole Max at the end of episode 4, so good. Putting Kate Bush in the mix there, I knew they were going to play that song when they were scrambling around trying to find the favorite song, and obviously playing that song in episode 1, I knew that song was going to drop. And I was watching with my wife, and she loves Kate Bush and she loves that song, and with that song, and I knew that song was going to kick in, and I knew she didn't know that song was going to kick in, and she just jumped up and was, oh my god, I love this song, and I knew it was going to happen. And it was just that scene is definitely one of the best scenes of the front, of any season so far of Stranger Things, definitely. But yeah, so definitely going with Vecna as the main, big bad of this definitely, a very, very good decision to go with that. Ben's in the chat. What's up, Ben? I reckon the next season will be like a Game of Thrones style war with the upside down world. I've not, obviously nobody's seen episode 6 and 7. Don't know how it's going to end, but where they go with, because season 6 I think is confirmed, unless I just did not read things right, but I'm sure season 6 is confirmed. I'm big let's go for a while too. Bunny Army, for the sake of the man in the chat, I feel I need to mention that only genetically to make your penis bigger. Please do not take on cigar penis using needles, pills, ups. Oh, thank you, Bunny Army. Thank you for that. I will definitely take that into consideration. I would never do that anyway. Hopper and Levitt are definitely biggest characters. Chris, I'm not a big fan of Hopper. I think I liked him in season 1. I just kind of like, I've just, as he's gone on, I've kind of like gone off him less and I've gone off him more and more, but that's it. I just hope. And what hub would that be then? What hub? A hub that begins with P, maybe? I'm just a wild guess. Big T says, Jan, just think some wrestling fan out there probably has the limb fossilized frozen penis of Rick Rude and Rich or Gareth Freezer at this very moment, unless he got buried with him. That's probably the most random comments. Well, not random, but a comment that involves Rick Rude, refrigerators, fossilized and frozen penis in one sentence is probably not something I would expect to read out on my channel. Big T, man went hopping 11 United, someone is definitely going to be cutting onions. Well, I mean, I've not, as I say, I'm only up to episode 4, so Hopper getting double crossed at the end was a big surprise to me. Didn't see that coming. Obviously, shit's going to sort itself out, so I stand to be, Ben says, there's a penis museum. I watched a doc on it, the final member. It was all 2 guys competing to have their dings donated to the museum first. Okay, so we discussed Star Wars, we discussed Obi-Wan, right? So final topic tonight, it's going to keep it like a nice lean hour. So anybody in the UK watching now, if there is anyone, it's the 70th anniversary of the Queen's coronation. I think that's what you call it. So basically, we've been ruled over by our Queen for 70 years. 70 years, man. 70 long years. Platinum Jubilee. So I thought, what better time to discuss a few like deep cut British movies, and I'm talking like real British movies, because I was looking for like some sort of deep cut British movies that people very rarely talk about, and they were bringing up movies that like first I don't regard as British. People talk about the Descent. I've never seen The Descent as a British movie. Everybody's got American accents in that film. I don't see that as a British movie. It doesn't feel very British. And isn't it set in America as well? Like, to me, it's not a British movie. It may be it may be filmed in Britain. It may be funded in Britain. But The Descent does not feel like a British movie to me. It feels like an American movie. But yeah, and then other movies, like The Wicker Man. Everybody knows The Wicker Man. Like Peeping Tom. Everybody knows Peeping Tom. Who's like, I was thinking, what movies could I reference to an American audience who maybe have not seen a classic British movie? So I came up with, I could have come up with like a fairly decent list, but I tried to come up with just like a few which are kind of like, I think a few of these films most Americans have never heard of. Dan's probably heard of all of them, but that Dan's an exception. So in terms of like go on your IMDb, go whatever you've got to make reference to save, to make a note of a movie to watch, and make a note of these films, because these films are fucking fantastic. Well, they're not all fantastic movies, but they're certainly movies that are worth a watch, because you know what, most of these films are fucking fantastic. There's a couple of films which are like they're okay for a watch, but nobody talks about them. But most of these films are really, really good films. But so the first movie out the bag is a movie from 2008 called Hush. Not the 2016 Mike Flanagan Netflix piece of shit, which, okay, so it's not bad. But this is 2008 British movie. Guy on a motorway or freeway, whatever you call it in America, driving his girlfriend along. He's got a job. He's putting up advertising in service stations behind a big HGV, heavy goods vehicle lorry. The back suddenly flies up, and inside is a chained woman. Immediately slams back down. He's rubbing his eyes, thinking, "Have I just seen what I've seen?" Tries to report to the police. They're kind of like, whatever. Follows the HGV vehicle into a service station, and then the film plays out from there. His girlfriend goes missing, potentially kidnapped by this driver of this vehicle. If you like The Vanishing from 1988 or Breakdown, this is right up your street. It's such an underrated movie that nobody ever fucking talks about. It's a great movie. Is it changing cinema? No. Is it the greatest British movie of all time? No. It's just a damn fine little film, and if you've got like 90 minutes to spare, just try and check it out. Big T says the most British movie I've ever seen is Chicken. I've never seen Chicken. What the hell is Chicken? I've never. Ben, he says I like Snatch. Yes, yeah. See, Snatch though. Snatch is it's so mainstream. It is British. Green Street Hooligans. Oh my God, Green Street Hooligans. Yeah, if you're gonna watch a hooligan film, which is reminiscent of real, hooligan culture, then probably watch The Firm with Gary Oldman from '88. That is a fantastic movie. Yeah, watch Gary Oldman, The Firm, 1988. If you like, if you want a real, just like hooligan movie, football hooligan movie. So moving on from Hush, also from moving from 2008 to 1988, Paper House. Paper House has been mentioned. I know Dan's definitely seen this film. It's been mentioned numerous times on the Sausage Factory. Fantastic movie. A girl, without going to giving it too much away, she's kind of like a bit of a daydreamer. She sketches in class, and she draws a house, and basically her dreams become reality in a way. She kind of goes into her dreams, and it's a very dreamlike film. It's not really to call it a horror film. It's probably not the right description of that film, but there's elements of the film which are quite disturbing. There's a couple of jump scenes in that film as well. The scene where she's in the bath, which is, but it's one of those movies. It's a film I saw as a kid and rewatched as an adult, and it holds weight. It's very, very, very British, and it's very, very cult. It's like not many people talk about this film. Dan says there, Paper Out my best. Yeah, see, yeah. I mean, Big T. Yeah, Clockwork Orange is very, very British, but I wouldn't include it in this list because Clockwork Orange is very, very, very famous. It's referenced. It's referenced multiple times across. There's probably Clockwork Orange references in The Simpsons. It's although it's a very, very British film, it's so famous across the world. It's been referenced so many times that I would never include it in a list like this. This list is basically movies which people just never reference. And Hush is a film that I love that nobody ever talks about. Paper House is a film that is slightly more well known, but is still a film that people barely know. And so we've got like a 3 or 4 more, but Jack the Ripper, 88, TV movie with Michael Caine, just amazing TV movie. Love this film. It was aired over 2 nights in 1988 on the 100th anniversary of the Jack the Ripper killings. So good. Jack the Ripper, Lewis Collins. It does give an answer to who Jack the Ripper was, which obviously we don't know who Jack the Ripper was. they did give an answer to that. They gave a kind of like final answer to give some sort of like finality to, just I think just for the sake of the film. But oh my god, great music. The score is fantastic. Michael Caine's just a fucking legend in this film. Michael Caine's just a legend, period. But yeah, amazing film. Next up, possibly the best film on this is Dead Man's Shoes. Paddy Considine, ex. I mean, this is a film I've mentioned before. I gave it to Piz to review as part of his Patreon thing, and he loved it. Paddy Considine returned to his old town. He's ex-army, drug dealers running wild, drug dealers who bullied, and used his brother for drug runs, and they used him sexually. And he returns and just basically runs wild, and just goes postal on them. Dead Man's Shoes. If anybody has not seen Dead Man's Shoes, just check Dead Man's Shoes out. It's a fucking incredible film. Another film which I saw a few years ago, and it's a film that kind of like was big at the time and it kind of disappeared. It's called The Disappearance of Alice Creed with Gemma Arterton. But like a kidnapper for like a wealthy sort of aristocratic daughter, from a rich businessman, and like these two guys kidnap her. And it's one of those, it's like a kidnapping, nothing goes south, but really, really well executed. You've got like, really, really good casting in this film. And it's just one of those films that kind of like appeared and like just disappeared, and like nobody really paid it any attention like within like a year of release. And I just really like this film. If you like this as like a good suspense film, which it doesn't take itself too seriously. It's obviously it's of a serious nature, but there are not say comedy elements, but it's kind of like it never feels too dark, despite the subject matter. Yeah, The Disappearance of Alice Creed is a really good recommendation. Two more. One, poor man's Severance, you could say. Doghouse from 2013 with Danny Dyer, Stephen Graham. Doghouse is just a fun sort of movie that you could make in 2022 about a guy who's, I think he's dumped on. From what I remember, he split up with his partner, maybe on his wedding day. I can't quite remember, but I just remember, like, basically it's just get a bunch of guys together, forget your problems, go to a small town, get pissed, but the small town is full of possessed women who hate men and they want to kill all men. So yeah, problematic in 2022, almost certainly. But it's kind of like a zombie movie where the women are the bad guys and the men are the good guys. So you can see where that's probably not going to be too acceptable in 2022. But it's a fun movie, it doesn't take itself too seriously. It's just a good laugh, and nobody ever mentions this film. And finally, a film, this film is pretty famous now, thanks to a lot of people online, but I will say Ghostwatch, 1982. Anybody's not seen Ghostwatch, just go and watch Ghostwatch. Fake documentary, mockumentary, whatever you want to call it, went live in 1982, Halloween night, pretended to be an investigation into basically the Enfield poltergeist, which is the subject of numerous films. Send in a real crew, real TV presenters, real TV actors, put in place as the main presenter, one of the most respected TV presenters of his time, and just go for it. And they certainly did. And it worked too well because, when you put a number out for people to call in with their stories and what they've seen, and you put a genuine number out, then that number then crashes, and people can't get through because the call line is jammed, people start to freak the hell out. So yeah, extreme um, shit fan with that, with Ghostwatch. Massive issues for the BBC. People suing the BBC. You know, you know, shows about Ghostwatch in light of what happened with that show, with that movie, well, TV show, but we'll call it a movie for argument's sake, because it kind of is a movie, because it is a movie now, like on DVD. But obviously, but back in '92, it was basically just a mockumentary, but we didn't know that. Although, if you paid attention, you did know that. I've gone into it before. It's just a strange. I mean, I'll go into it again, basically. So, people who aren't aware, Ghostwatch aired live on Halloween night in 1992. It aired. I always thought it aired at eight o'clock, but apparently it was 9 o'clock, maybe a little bit later. I always thought it was 8 o'clock. I did watch it live, but obviously this is when I was 16, so 15, maybe. No, I was 16, 1992. But legend, and this is where legend plays a part here, because legend says that, and even I'm not sure now, because I even said on one of his streams, on his Patreon streams, that a show deliberately ran over late to eat into Ghostwatch's time, because this is before DVR and video recorders existed. But if something was going to be live on TV, you wanted to see it live. You didn't want to record a live show and watch it back. It was live on TV. You want to see it live. So legend says that the show that was running on the BBC on ITV, sorry, was running 5 minutes late to try and cut into the Ghostwatch's time. I even stated that on Pizza's stream, and I'm not even sure if that was true. There's so much misinformation with Ghostwatch, and I mean, even though I saw it live, even I can't quite remember what happened, because we're talking 30 years ago. But what did happen is the show went live 1990. Well, it wasn't even, that thing wasn't even live. It was recorded, but we all thought it was live. So 1992, Halloween night, the show went live, although it wasn't live. Michael Parkinson in a studio with outside camera crew in Enfield in North London, with a very well-respected camera crew, very well-respected presenters. Obviously, Michael Parkinson, the David Letterman of the UK. That's who Michael Parkinson was in 1982. He was the David Letterman, the Jay Leno of the UK. That's who they had in place to do this shit. The show plays out, people calling in saying they've seen stuff, to a pre-recorded show that nobody knew was pre-recorded unless you paid particular attention. People seeing shit, stuff in the background that this isn't a, now this even, I'm not sure about this. Apparently they added stuff to the background in playbacks when people were ringing in, and I don't even, or they took stuff out. I don't know. It's such a mystery. It's just the whole setup for Ghostwatch is just utter genius. Like, even now, I'm not entirely sure what is real and what isn't real. I've seen documentaries about it, but because I'm not even entirely sure about the legitimacy of those documentaries, I can't even be entirely sure myself. But there was talk of, like, they included stuff of pipes in the original, in the original showing, and then when they cut to, like, people ringing in saying, well, we think we've seen pipes, and then they say, well, we can't see anything, and then there's nothing there, they've taken it away. And I'm like, I don't even know, because watching it live in 92, you just watch the show and you just forget about it, and then it causes a bit of controversy. But this is before the internet. So it's only years later when you return to it and you can really look into it. And then obviously the internet just generates this interest and it just travels throughout the world. And then obviously America picks this up because obviously you guys in America, obviously I know Lorne, you're a massive fan of Ghostwatch and know Piz is now as well. A lot of you guys are probably massive fans of Ghostwatch, but it's just crazy how something that like you can watch innocently in 1992 and you just half the stuff you don't even pick up on, and it's the fact that they put this in before the internet even existed is just how, I mean, top credit to them. I mean, the idea that you can be that forward thinking that you're actually gonna, you know, put shit like this in, because really, what was their incentive for putting all this shit in, be in a pre-internet era? It's just there was nothing in it for them, you know. They just, I just the utmost respect. I just that fucking film, man, documentary, TV movie, whatever you want to call it. It's mind blowing, mind blowing. One more I won't even mention it yet. And Fred's from '84, which I've mentioned too many times on Pizza Stream, so I'm not going to go into detail. Threads, Threads, spelled that way. If you can get hold of a copy, it's fucking difficult to get hold of a copy of this film. It's not the easiest film to watch, you know, in terms of accessing the film or watching it anyway, because it's a tough watch. But yeah, that again, quintessentially British, grim, working class film. Yeah, definitely check it out. But yeah, definitely Ghostwatch. Just want to see some of the comments on this. Jamie, what's up? Jamie, loving your cover versions. Very, really, you know what? Really, so it's nice to hear someone who isn't like, it's genuine, if that makes sense. Genuine voice rather than this auto-tune shit you hear all the time. It's nice to hear someone with like a genuine voice, and coupled with the aesthetic, you know, I did comment on the video as well. The aesthetics, you know, the whole, it goes well because I just can't be dealing with all this auto-tune bullshit. You know, like fucking these nobody singers who just can't hold a tune. But yeah, really enjoying it. Really nice, really nice, really nice. Oh, is Sean in the chat? Where's Sean? Have I missed Sean? There's Sean there. What's up, Sean? I was too busy talking about Ghostwatch. So if anyone jumped in the chat, I was a bit late to the party, I'm afraid. Jamie, Top Gun Maverick looks really, it looks good actually. I'm not going to go and see it on the cinema, but I am actually looking. It looks, the reviews have been really good for that film. So I'm trying to find when I started talking about. Dan says, final house to vote Flesh Room features, guys. I did vote, Dan. I'm assuming this is the vote from. It started about 3 or 4 weeks ago because I voted a while ago. So is this the same one for Born to Be Rad? Or the one I think he linked it. I know there's comments about Ghostwatch, so Chris says, yeah, my British movie nod starts ends with Guy Ritchie from what's that bad for that. Well, that's why, check out a few of the films I mentioned tonight, Chris. I think you'd be pleasantly surprised. Yeah, Ben says I've seen Paper. It's not my favorite, but I definitely feel loving it. Yeah, it's just got that late 80s feel to it. Yeah, Dead Man's Shoes. Yeah, yeah, Dan. Dead Man's Shoes. Anyone, Dead Man's Shoes. Check out Dead Man's Shoes. Fantastic film. Put the subtitles on now. You might struggle with some of the accents. It's pretty strong. And yeah, I knew Lord said Ghostwatch is legitimately wonderful. I know Lorne loves this film. Um, Chris, I was telling you because Netflix was streaming. Maybe wait rather than trying to. My advice would be try not to watch it now, middle of summer. Hang on till October. Maybe Shudder will stream it. If not, try and access a copy physically and then just watch it in October. You got to watch. Ghost Watch needs to be watched in October, definitely. Um, yeah, you can't watch it in the height of summer. I don't know what this WNUF Halloween special. I need to see this, but where would I see this, Lauren? Because the WNUF Halloween special, I don't even know what that is. So America did like a Ghost Watch, basically copy of Ghost Watch. Dances. I swear Ghost Watch. I will. Oh yeah, I did. Although I was 16, so technically, well, you could say I was a child, but I was 16. Yeah, I did. I was lucky enough to believe for the first half an hour that it was real. So I suppose that is basically experiencing Ghostwatch as a child, because for the first 30 minutes, even though I was 16, for the first 30 minutes, I thought, this is what the fuck is going on? This is insane. And it's, as I say, what I didn't touch on before. Well, maybe I did touch on. How do you know it's not real? I'll just get my phone. Oh, no phone. Computer? No, no computers, no phones. It was only 1982. It was only 30 years ago. It's not that long ago, and you had nothing to go on. Nothing, nowhere to go. Who would you get in touch with? The only thing you could do was get in touch with the switchboard at the BBC and complain. Just the, can you imagine now? It would be like everybody, whatever they had, like what 30,000 like complaints at the BBC. Now it would just be 30,000 people on Twitter complaining about how it triggered them. It's just it's just so funny. Okay, this is what is interesting. This is what I was querying before, and Lawrence answered the question. I think the girl's bedroom shot is different when he played the second time to call someone. Yes, I thought that. Someone mentioned it. I remember watching a YouTube video about Ghostwatch, and they that's the genius of what they did. They said they switch things around. So clever, man. Doing that in a to do that in a pre-internet age is just so good. Oh my god. Um, anyway, think I think I'm more or less done now. Everyone in the chat tonight, been another fantastic night for the chat. 14 people at one point, I think. Um, Steak's just turned up. Just as Steak, don't take it personally, man. I'm just about to wrap things up. Uh, it's not you, man, but it is like 2 o'clock in the morning now in the UK. So if you jumped on it like an hour ago, it would have been a different story. But everyone's jumped in the chat, man. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's been a good chat. Apologies for the fuck up at the beginning, but everyone's managed to find their way here. Everyone who's jumped on the chat, obviously Steak there, Sean, Dan. I'll always miss someone out. Jamie, Chris, Big T, Lorne, obviously, Bunny, Ben, um, I'm going to miss somebody now. I know I'm going to miss somebody. A DJ obviously jumped on. I think I said Sean. I'm just going back. Someone at the beginning. I'm going to miss somebody at the beginning of the chat. I know I am. Oh, this. It's nice that I can scroll this far down the chat. But again, it's like a lot of people. I think I've got everyone. If anybody, Griffin jumped in as well. God, if I miss Griffin, that'd be a disaster because Griffin's like, somebody who stream live with. So Griffin jumped on as well. I think that's most people. Anyway, thanks guys. Thank you so much. I'll be in next Tuesday, or maybe Friday, probably next Tuesday. And as always, thank you so much. It means a lot. And please hit the like button as well, guys. It seems to make a big difference to number of views again for some reason. I don't know what the correlation is between views and the likes, but it just seems to make it does seem to make a difference. So anybody who hasn't hit the like button, please do. And I will see you next week.